It's the NBA on TNT tonight. Yeah.
Reggie Theus and Cheryl Miller. Bob Neal with you from Sacramento, California. The fans here have been anticipating this matchup since Monday night when the Kings upset the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City. The series is tied at 1 apiece. This franchise has never won a playoff game since the Kings moved from Kansas City to Sacramento in 1985, and the fans believe that that win will be coming here tonight. How did they get the victory in Salt Lake City? Well, Chris Webber started it all and set the tone, Reggie.
And that is a nice shot, a real game opener, and I tell you what, that showed everybody in the league that the Kings want a piece of the Jazz, but we have to caution them, don't get caught up in the hype, because tonight the Jazz will come out playing physical. If the Kings get caught up in that, trying to out-physical the Jazz, the game is already over.
Well, Webber and Divac had a great game inside. Jerry Sloan said he hopes to stop them on the interior as a key in this ball game. We'll be back here for the tip-off at Arco in Sacramento. Stay with us. You can hear already that this crowd is crazy. Rick Adelman said he hopes his own team doesn't get too caught up in the frenzy, because they'll have to play basketball. And of course, the Utah Jazz have been here before. Since they've been so excellent over the years, they are used to this when they visit. It'll be Malone and Webber, the key matchup at the power forward spot. Malone at 33 in game 1. Brian Russell has a sprained ankle. Ostertag only 2 points in game number 2. Hornacek and Stockton slumped, and Jason Williams had a heck of a game. Abdul Wahed is the best defensive player on the Kings team, coached by Jerry Sloan, now the dean of coaches at the same franchise in the NBA. And Rick Adelman, who came down from Portland via Golden State and the Warriors to take over this Sacramento Kings franchise. And as Jeff Petrie added some new players and some new free agents, the franchise has been maybe the biggest surprise in the NBA this year. And let's go now courtside to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Well, Chris Webber told me before the game that his back is feeling much better. One of the main reasons why is the treatment that he received before the game. Now, that consisted of muscle stim, some heat, some massaging, and a lot of stretching. One thing also, tonight, Chris will be wearing a lower back belt to give him some further support. Also, as a side note, he said the best therapy he received all week on his back was that Monday win, that gave him his first playoff win. Can you imagine how his back will feel if they win tonight?
And the opening tip is saved by Karl Malone. The Jazz in the dark uniforms, already booze raining down here. Remember, this franchise has not won a home playoff game since it moved from Kansas City in 1985. Utah with 16 on the shot clock. See if the defense is intense as it was in Salt Lake City from the Kings. It looks like it early. Here is Brian Russell driving, shot clock to 7. Stockton opens with a 3. That'll quiet the crowd.
Well, that'll get the crowd quiet quick, and that's one of their options that tonight they want to get this crowd not standing and cheering. They'd like to keep them quiet.
Offensive foul on Abdul Wahed as he brought his elbows around and took Hornacek down to the floor.
Now, Bob, I think that's a bad call. I'm going to tell you why, because all the hype about this physical play, the defense has to allow the offense room to turn, and he just got his head in the way. That should have been no call.
2-0 Utah with the first bucket and a turnover from the Kings. From the corner, Brian Russell. It's 5-0 Utah in the opening minute of play.
Well, Jerry Sloan, very disappointed in his teams. He said, hey, Reggie, they just came out and waxed us. He was very disappointed in the lack of ball pressure and the fact that the Kings got the ball anywhere they wanted on the floor, including in the post.
Jason Williams goes for the opening 3, missed it badly. Rebound Webber, put back. It's a pass actually to Corliss Williamson. Chris Webber opens with an assist after coming off a 20-point performance. Bad back and all in game number 2, 5-2 Utah. Karl Malone, 33 in game 1. Webber all over him. Stockton frees himself on the screen. This is the short jumper run down by Jason Williams. This is what the Kings do best, and that's to run. Bad pass from Williams. A great steal from the NBA's all-time leader in steals. Wave off the basket. Williams fouls Stockton.
That's great anticipation by John Stockton on the pass. And when you look at the defense right there, nice hands. And on the break, Stockton trying to get the ball to Malone. You saw him look over his shoulder, always aware of it. Watch him look over his shoulder. Now he knows that he's got a man trailing, and John Stockton caused that contact. I don't know if I would have called that a foul either, Bob.
Stockton on the drive. It doesn't go. Rebound, Vlade Divac to Jason Williams. Turned it over the last time.
But I will say, Bob, these referees are thinking one thing. They got to control this game. There's been a lot of talk about physicality and what I'm going to do to you and who's going to do what. The referees taking a look at the game strictly.
Look at this. As you can see, Jason Williams stepped out of bounds, and that's the third Kings turnover. 5-2 Utah. Kings opening up, playing tight. Williamson with that. That's the first Utah turnover. Corliss pulls up from 13 feet. Two quick baskets from the forgotten forward, Corliss Williamson. Corliss averaged 13 2-points a game in the regular season, only 7 points here in the playoffs. He's been the forgotten man with Weber and Divac up front.
And that's been one of the ways he's been trying to get back into the game, finding a way to get the points, and that's been in the open floor.
Hornacek from the baseline. Rebound Williams. Jason Williams, listen to the crowd.
I tell you what, Bob, the first one was a real brick, but that one was nothing but twine.
7-5. Kings, Hornacek. Pass broken up, intended for Ostertag. Jason Williams has it stripped by the great hands of John Stockton. It will be Kings ball.
And what a way to break up a play. John Stockton doing everything, Hornacek, but look at Corliss Williamson. He really struggled trying to find his way into this offense, and he said, Reggie, with the way they play post-up ball, I got to get mine in the open court and in the quick offense.
Divac working on Ostertag. He's fouled. Ball doesn't go through the hoop, but Divac will go to the free throw line. Ostertag had only 2 points in game number 2, and they're going to charge Karl Malone with that personal foul.
Well, that's one area that we know the Kings really have a distinct advantage. Vlade Divac in the middle against Greg Ostertag, but the key in last game was the fact that Vlade took him outside first and then worked him to the inside. When you post up, he's got a better chance of blocking a shot.
Divac gets them both. As you take a look at earlier scores from tonight and games coming up on either TBS or TNT, a reminder that here on TNT we'll have all the reaction following that Knicks-Miami Heat game at halftime of this one. Right now, though, 9-5. Kings, and Chris Weber picks up his first foul. He had 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes of game number 2. Rick Adelman left him in the game, however, and he was able to finish without being in too much foul trouble. Stockton looking inside to Malone. Weber looks at the face-up jumper. Not this time. Saved nicely by Abdul Wahed as Divac and Williamson nearly knocked it out of bounds.
Look how live John Stockton's leg and body is.
Offensive foul has been called. No, he said he stepped out of bounds. Jason Williams, that's twice Jason Williams has stepped out of bounds in the opening moments of this game.
And John Stockton's got live legs tonight. He is all over Jason Williams defensively.
Illegal defense has been called against the Kings. It's a 9-0 run for Sacramento. Remember, they trailed 5-0.
One of the things that Jerry Sloan always says about John Stockton after having a bad game in game 2 is that he respects him so much on how he comes back after he plays bad.
8 minutes to go, first period. 9-5 Kings. Malone has it taken away by Chris Weber. It's intense already. Chris Weber is fouled by Malone, and that'll be 2 on Malone if that's who they get for the foul. Yes, it's 2 early fouls on Karl Malone.
Chris Webber down low, really bottling up Karl Malone. Took him head on and took the ball from him. Right here, nice rocker step. Step to the baseline, out quick Karl to the spot.
Team fouls, each team with 2 early here. 7:49 to go in the first period, and Karl Malone will have to sit down. Thurl Bailey comes in his place. Divac working in the middle, nowhere to go. He's patient with it, however. Back to Divac. He'll take the jumper over. Ostertag. Vlade Divac had 18 points in game number 2. 11-5 Kings.
And that's how the Kings can open this game up, spread the floor, give them chances to really post up by Divac, taking them outside.
Double on Stockton. Ryan Russell. Misses from beyond the arc. Volleyball. Divac gets it. Jason Williams tried to make that pass between John Stockton's legs.
And there wasn't anybody in the building that couldn't tell the windup of that pitcher. He was going for a slider.
11-0 run. It was Utah 5-0. They have not scored since. Inside Wahed. He didn't get the layup. Gets the follow. Missed it too. Now the third time. Blocked Ostertag. Jason Williams behind the back to Wahed. Oh, goodness. Divac should have taken that shot.
Overpassing by the Kings. But great hustle. Nevertheless, John Stockton, a rare turnover.
How about this? Already in this game, talk about tension. 4 Utah turnovers, 5 from Sacramento. Kings lead at 11-5, and we're nearly halfway through the first period from Arco. Sacramento on an 11-0 run, leading Utah 11-5, 6:44 to go in the first period. Early on, you see, Utah made their first 2 shots, then missed 7 in a row. And look at the rebounding story, 9-0 Sacramento. And the Utah Jazz had been out rebounding them in the series by an average of 12.5 a game coming into this one. Jason Williams, quick shot, falls over Stockton.
Jason Williams said, hey, they can't guard me. He hits the shot. He shoots his jumper running.
13-5. King. Stockton gets it down to the baseline. Nowhere to go. Finds Ostertag. He takes a hard foul from Chris Webber. And that'll be 2 on Webber at the 6:14 mark of period number 1. Let's see if Rick Adelman leaves Chris in. He did in game number 2.
I think it's important right here. Look at John Stockton with a battling act right there, finding he can see the guy without even looking at him. It is amazing the radar that John Stockton has. And you know, when you look at Chris Webber, you say, will he take him out with 2 fouls? It's a tough call. He did it in game 2. Tonight he's elected to go with Funderburk, and maybe a good situation because he got rid of it in game 2.
Tomorrow at a special time, 6:30 Eastern, we'll have Magic 76ers, followed by Pacers Bucks on TBS. Then on TNT tomorrow, starting at 7, Spurs Timberwolves and Lakers Rocket. Please notice the special tip-off times on both networks. 6:30 Eastern on TBS, 7 Eastern on TNT. So Funderburk, who did not play in game 2, played some minutes in that blowout in game 1, is in. Williamson wide open in the paint, and he has 6 points early.
Corliss Williamson has made his adjustment to become a power forward slasher. That's the only way he can get involved in the Kings offense.
He's 3 out of 3 here tonight. 15-6, 9-point lead. Ostertag went for the dunk. Now he's fouled by Divac. That's Vlade's first personal foul. Remember, Ostertag had only 2 points in the game on Monday night.
Ostertag, one of the best Magic men in the league. Because he does one of the best disappearing acts in the league. Great game 1, just totally no factor, as Jerry Sloan said in game 2. Tonight, he has to be a factor, and if they're thinking about winning it all, they're not good enough if he doesn't play ball for this team.
You see that his last field goal in game 2 came at 6:04 in the first quarter. He didn't score in like the next 24, nearly 25 minutes that he played in that game. And Howard Eisley is in now for Stockton. This is the usual rotation at the point guard. Eisley's had a very consistent playoff series. Divac with 10 on the shot clock. Up and under. Can't get the shot away. 5 to shoot. Jason Williams rifles it inside. The shot is blocked. Back come the Jazz. Howard Isley on the run. Bounce pass. Russell off the glass. Brian Russell.
Oh, Nate Smith would be proud of that bounce pass. No flare, just straight on the numbers across court.
Corliss Williamson working on Brian Russell. Russell goes down. They're going to call him for a block. Wave the basket off. Now remember, Brian Russell sprained his ankle late in the third period of game number 2. Did come back to play a little bit. However, he is playing with a sore ankle here tonight, his right ankle.
Look at Corliss Williamson. The thing that's so great about him is putting it on the floor. Look at the foul being called. He never put it back on the floor. Why wouldn't that continuation?
Abdul ahead with the jam, 17-9, Kings. 4:42 to go, first period. Isley blew right past Jason Williams and scores from about 6 feet on the baseline. 6-point lead for the Kings.
That gets you in trouble. You can't score that easy from that far out. Not when you're not looking to score.
Vlade Divac dribbling, running, finger roll.
Oh, what a beautiful play. Vlade Divac, we talked about it, Bob, has got to really move Ostertag around, taking him to the perimeter and driving him to the hole. Keeps him away from the post-up blocks because he's better defensively coming from the weak side to help.
4:05 to go in the period. Another Utah turnover. Divac comes away with it to Jason Williams. 19-11 Kings. Jason Williams makes the 3 home. Baby. Jason Williams has 8 points. The Kings have doubled the score of Utah, 22-11. Remember Malone on the bench with 2 fouls. Stockton resting.
They should nickname him No Fear, Bob.
Hornacek is fouled as he tries to take the shot by Abdul Wahed. And that's 2 on Abdul Wahed, along with Cheryl Miller, Reggie Theus. This is Bob Neal from a wild and crazy Arco Arena. Game 3 in this first round series between Utah and Sacramento. Utah the 3rd seed, Sacramento 6th. Utah blew them out by 30 in the first at Salt Lake City. And then the Kings surprised everybody with their 101-90 win on Monday night. 22-12, 3:35 to go in the first period.
And Bob, this is a great emotional ride for the Sacramento Kings, but you got to know Utah Jazz have been through this before. It's very important for them to ride this wave and let the emotion calm down, and they'll just stay steady with their game. They're not going to change. They've been through it.
Remember, Utah was down 2 games to 1 to Houston last year in the first round. Came back to win the final 2 games by 18 and 14 points respectively. Williamson waits for a double team, finds Funderburk, who makes a bad pass. Looking for Wahed. 22-13, 9-point lead Kings. 3:16 to go in the first quarter. Turnovers 6, Sacramento 5, Utah. Crowd has settled a little bit, but it's still a roar even when they're settled. Shot clock to 10 for Isaac. Williams went underneath the screen, and it gave Isley the chance for the jumper. It is a 2, and now it's 22-15 Kings. Jazz making a little bit of a comeback here. Remember the Jazz, one of their techniques, one of their trademarks is making runs late in a quarter. Divac banks it home. He has 8 early. It's already been well documented about Vlade Divac's concern over his parents and brother in Yugoslavia, about the fact that he can't get much sleep at night, 3 to 4 hours, but he has been playing like a warrior. Brian Russell, the run. Divac pulls it down to Jason Williams. Just watching him sometimes is a hoot.
Look how the Kings have the floor spread.
Funderburk over Thurl Bailey. Funderburk, the second-year player out of Ohio State.
Things are going great when you find Funderburk putting it in the hole, but I love the way the Kings are spreading the court, daring Utah to come double-team them.
Tipped out of bounds off the hands of Thurl Bailey. It's going to be Kings ball with the Kings up 9.
And Vlade Divac, a lot of people say the most valuable player on this team, moving Ostertag around, making it happen, and And then when you talk about a guy who should be nicknamed No Fear, banking it from way out past 30 feet. Ooh, the Kings burning them.
Minute 52 to go in the first period. Divac with 8. Welcome back to Arco. Minute 52 to go in the first period. 26-15 Sacramento. Reggie.
Guys, I'm going to show you some good defense and then some bad defense right here. Jason Williams and Thunderberg. Nice communication on the switch. Look at him. Step out. Now find your man. Get back to the other guy. Now watch this. Jason Williams freeze it right about there. Jason Williams should body up right here on Isley. Step it. Let it go. But he goes behind him. When guys can shoot the jumper, you got to follow him on the pick. Bang.
Kings are shooting 69% in this first period. And how about this stat? Out-rebounding the Jazz 12-1.
And Bob still getting any shot they want, anywhere on the floor that they want. The Jazz playing no defense.
Corliss Williamson with 8 points. 8 points also for Divac and Jason Williams. 28-15. Shot clock down to 10. Looking for Hornacek. Getting into the paint for his runner. Blocked by Abdul-Wahed. Russell picks up the loose ball. Bailey goes to the left hand with only 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Thurl Bailey, the veteran, former Jazz, then left, played in Europe, came back to the Jazz, and he's provided some good relief, veteran relief off the bench for the Jazz down the stretch. 11-point Kings lead, down to a minute to go first period. Jason Williams, will he take the shot?
Would he take the shot? Are you kidding?
Corliss Williamson drove in hard. No foul call. Divac, he's got that shot. It's certainly not his best one. And Ostertag is slow getting up down underneath his own basket. Let's see what happens. We have a 20-second timeout called by Utah as Jerry Sloan comes out to look at his 7'1" center. Not going to speculate on what happened.
Didn't see it, Bob.
Some scores on the bottom of your screen. Detroit clobbered Atlanta tonight in a surprise to go to 2-1, and the Knicks are up 2-1 also over Miami.
On the drive, Ostertag looked like he just came down awkwardly, and it's really tough to tell what he's holding, but he came down awkwardly.
Let's say
could be a number of things.
Let's say he's holding his groin.
Well, I don't think he got hit in the navel, Bob, but
I think that's pretty clear to America.
Now he goes down. Boy, that's sure the delayed reaction.
So Ostertag will fight off the pain, and Foster comes in along with Maxwell. Quick three taken by Isley. Loose ball corralled by Divac out to Jason Williams. Rifles it inside. How do they catch the ball thrown that hard? With great difficulty would be the answer.
I tell you what, they've gotten used to it real quick around here.
8 on the shot clock for Divac against Foster. Foster way too short to stop him there. Ball stripped by Brian Russell. 3 on the shot clock. It'll belong to the Kings. 15 seconds remaining in the period, and John Barry will check in for Jason Williams this final 15 seconds of the period. Barry and Maxwell and Pollard coming off the bench were some of the keys to the win in Utah on Monday night. Divac puts it up quickly, misses it. Barry knocks it out of bounds. It'll be Utah ball.
Now with Ostertag out of the game, even with 11 seconds on that last play, Divac has to notice that he can shoot the ball over Greg Foster. He should have just stayed in the post and took the little hook on him.
Isley goes past Maxwell and gets inside where he creates so well. Foster, good jump shooter. Not this time. Barry keeps it alive. Run down by Thunderberg at the end of one. The Kings hold the Jazz to only 17 points. Kings shooting 60%, Jazz 40, and the Kings dominating the glass. Back for period 2 in just a moment. Here, Greg Ostertag was injured and taken off the floor about 2 minutes ago, and Cheryl Miller will have an update on the situation with Greg Ostertag in this game. Right now, opening moments, second period, 28-17. Kings got down 5-0, and then just shut down the Utah Jazz and held them to 17 in the first period. Maxwell and Barry into the game now. They call themselves the Disruptors.
And what a big quarter by Vlade Divac. 8 points and 6 rebounds. Oh! was that?
I think that's something you catch from Jason Williams.
I agree. That's great.
The biggest lead for the Kings was 13 at 28-15. By the way, Chris Webber did not attempt a shot in the first quarter. He did have 3 assists. He does have 2 personal fouls.
Yeah, but Karl Malone hadn't gotten into the game either by that physical play of Webber up front.
Right, Malone also had to go to the bench for half of the first period nearly because he too is carrying 2 personals. Barry into Divac against Greg Foster. Waits for the double team. Open man Maxwell. He'll take the 3. And bury it. Mad Max says he doesn't want to be called Mad Max anymore because he's got his life together. And he does.
And that was a great timing play by Vlade Divac. Waited for the defense to come, and that's why the Jazz don't want to do that on the double teams, because they got guys that can fill it.
Isley getting into the paint, but nowhere to go. Bounces the pass off the back. John Barry diving for the loose ball. They're going to call him for the foul as Isley fell over him while he slid across the floor.
And Divac waiting till Isley made his move to come double, and Maxwell made him burn himself right there. Game 2, this trio of guards, they like to call themselves the disruptors, Bob. They give them a great mix of speed and scoring, and when you put Maxwell and Barry in the game together, their defensive tempo changes. They get out in pressure and make it all happen.
Here's the other defensive player inside is Scott Pollard, who just entered the ball game. So now it's Pollard, Barry, Maxwell, Chris Webber came back, and Corliss Williamson. 31-19 Kings. Webber, who did not attempt a shot in the first period against Foster, goes for the little jump hook. It's down. Don't count it. And let's go to Cheryl on an update on Greg Ostertag. Cheryl.
Well, Bob and Reggie, I was told that Greg Ostertag was kneed in the groin and that he still has 2. So obviously that's a male thing, so I will send that back over to the table. Won't touch that one.
You are a detail reporter, Cheryl.
We call it getting hit in the navel.
We're expecting he'll be back. 10-14 to go in the first half.
Look how spread the offense is on the Kings. That really hurts the Jazz defensively.
Good defense by Foster there on Webber's attempt at the jump hook. Isley floating it in the lane. Ball tipped back by Pollard, and Maxwell is hammered by Isley. Maxwell holding his cool.
Now the old Maxwell might have went after him. Smart move right there. Look at the rebound. Look at the tip. Maxwell holding his own.
Oh.
And way to hold the temper, because I know you want to go at him.
31-19, 9:59 to go first half. Utah has scored only 19 points, only 2 in this period. Karl Malone saddled on the bench with 2 fouls early, and he's 0 for 3 from the floor. But the big story, check out the Jazz rebounding, plus 24 in rebounds and assists in the first 2 games, minus 12 and minus 4 in assists and rebounds in this one.
Well, it's been incredible because before, you know, the Kings are a great rebounding team, and they had been not controlling that area. Tonight, riding that emotional wave, they are so live.
Stojakovic now gets onto the floor also. He's the rookie. He has it there. 6'9", blocked from behind by Adam Keefe, getting his first action in this game. Look at that ball movement. Barry to Maxwell. Missed the 3. Crowd ready to explode.
Oh, is that walking or what? Oh,
Barry with a hard foul on Anderson. He goes down hard. Barry saying, I got all ball.
You know, that's a tough play to call, because I looked at the kick. Looks like Barry had all ball, and he went for ball. It was a hard foul.
They're calling flagrant 1.
Now watch Barry go for the ball. He's got his hands on the ball. He does not have him by the head, the face, or the back. This is just off-balance, unfortunate basketball when it comes to hitting the floor hard. John Barry, I wouldn't be able to call this. Look at that. He is all over the top of the basketball. He had every right to question that by the referees. But again, Bob, you have to understand that the referees want to keep control of this game. And that's why they have to call those calls the way they go.
Shandon Anderson is all right after hitting the floor so hard. It knocks down both of the free throws. And it'll be Utah ball on the flagrant 1. You get the 2 free throws and the ball out of bounds.
Bob, that fall brought back some ugly memories on that, under that basket. I took one of the nastiest falls of my whole career in the old Arco building.
And you've never been the same since.
No, I don't have the hair.
Anderson batters Barry down, but loses the ball. Stojakovic comes away with it. Peja Stojakovic, only 21 years old. He's a Serbian also, as is Vlade Divac. Weber to Stojakovic from the corner. Loose ball foul. They're going to call this one on Scott Pollard. It'll be Utah ball, trailing by 10. Pollard's first foul. Team fouls. Kings with 3, Jazz with 2, with 9:07 to go in the half.
They like Scott Pollard here for how big he is, plugging the middle up, and the aggressiveness defensively.
Malone missing from outside. Loose ball gathered by Weber to John Barry. To Maxwell on the drive, kicks to Weber. Good ball movement. Inside to Scott Pollard from Kansas. He calls himself the garbage man. He says, we've got so much talent on this team, I'm happy just to pick up the pieces. And he has done that since he got his first action back in March 30th when Weber was out with the flu. Another turnover. That's the Maxwell-Barry combination. Maxwell to Barry, no-look pass to Stojakovic, who'll go to the line. Wow!
And this is where the Kings are growing up as a unit when they put Barry and Maxwell in the game. The defense rises. These are plays in game 1. Malone had 9 assists on plays just like that in the live body of Maxwell and sharing the ball. Look at that passing. And, of course, Peja, a great free throw shooter. You might as well just give him the layup.
Yeah, he's shooting 85. And how about this? Karl Malone with no points. Chris Webber with no points. Stojakovic gets them both. Those were his first 2 free throws of this playoff series. And the Kings go up by 14 with 8:13 to go in the first half. Stockton's been on the bench a long time. He's due to come back in shortly. Cross-court pass, Anderson. Penetration, tried to get it to Keith. Foul in the backcourt's going to take a bucket away from the Kings. And they'll call it on Keefe. That was a good play by Adam Keefe, but the fans nor the players like the call. By the way, we always get this when there's controversy. Time to name the officials. Steve Jabby, Eddie F. Rush, and Mike Callahan.
And look, again, the Kings getting their hands on the loose balls. Inside defense is strong. Right there, stop. A sure layup by Maxwell, but nevertheless, great defense. Now
there's a discussion between Jabby and Rush and Callahan. As you look at the numbers there on Stockton and Hornacek, they're discussing whether or not there was a clear path to the basket, and apparently they're saying no, and it'll be inbounded by Stojakovic. No change. The numbers from game 1, 2, and 3 tonight for Stockton and Hornacek with 7:56 to go in the half, and the Kings up by 14.
And again, from the guard's perspective, if you can stop Stockton and Hornacek from getting involved in the game, you got a game on your own side. Right now, not playing very well, Stockton or Hornacek.
Wild pass from Maxwell. Turnover. That is the 8th turnover for Sacramento. Utah has 9.
Chris Webber a long way away from his defensive man.
3 seconds the call against Utah. And that will be their 10th turnover as Pollard was fronting Malone and they couldn't get the entry pass into Karl.
Chris Webber taking a chance to help Pollard out down in the low post. Almost called for a technical in a zone offense.
Pick and roll Barry. Webber reverse. 16-point Kings lead. Webber's first bucket of the night. It's a 6-0 Kings run. Pollard trying to keep the ball away from Malone. This time Karl has it. Nice pass inside to Anderson, who got inside of Stojakovic. Remember, in game number 1, Karl Malone had 9 assists. You give him an opportunity, he'll get the ball to the open man.
Karl Malone always looking for that little pass down the lane, Bob. He says you got to want to pass it to become a good passer.
Chris Webber inside to Barry. No way to shoot it. Gives it up in the corner to Maxwell, who misses the long jumper. Greg Ostertag still on the bench after getting kneed in the groin. The lob inside to Malone. It's blocked. Stojakovic finally holds onto the ball. This is a man's game tonight, just like game number 2. Crowd on their feet cheering these Kings. Utah just keeping their poise, and Karl Malone tonight 0 for 5 from the floor. Weber open. Stockton, Malone, Anderson, Foster on the floor along with Howard Isley for the Utah Jazz. Malone will try it on the right side. Air ball from Karl. He's out of sync tonight. They're on their feet at Arco. Getting into a tempo, though, that better suits Utah. A little more half court, a little more walking the ball up. Barry, a long 3. Missed everything. It'll be Kings ball, went out of bounds off the Jazz. Timeout, Sacramento.
Chris Webber finding a way to get loose out here. Look at him, show it to you, and then take it on the other side. And then Pollard with a good defense. But they sneak a little guard down the lane. That's the play the Kings has to stop if they're going to win this game.
37-23 Utah trailing Sacramento. 5:26 remaining in the first half. Here's the Malone and Weber story. How about it? Karl 0 for 6. Weber's taken only 3 shots. Malone 3 rebounds. Weber only 1. Both are carrying 2 personal fouls. 1 second on the shot clock for the Kings. Max will have to just throw up the prayer. He got it off in time, but it hits the side of the backboard. And as a matter of fact, they're saying he didn't get it off in time. Nevertheless, it's a turnover. It'll go to the Utah Jazz.
Weber not really in the game, not scoring points. Malone, but it's the other guys. It's the intensity defensively that the Kings have come out here with, riding that emotional wave. And of course, on the other end, the Jazz not being able to stop them because of their spread offense.
How about that? Over 4 minutes, the Jazz haven't scored. They went through about a 6-minute drought in the third and fourth quarter in game number 2. Stockton misses. Weber gets the board. Stepped inside of Todd Fuller, who just came into the game for the Jazz. Jason Williams, the Jazz rookie point guard, has been on the bench for a long time. Barry wide open for the 3, didn't get it to go. Stojakovic trapped in the corner. Look, he's 6'9", and look at him handle the ball. Maxwell fakes the long one, gets it to Pollard, who fumbles it away. And Anderson comes away with it. To Isley.
It's a tough situation because they pass so well to each other. They share the ball almost to a fault.
Into Malone, who jumped inside after Pollard fronted him.
I'll tell you what, Bob, Pollard plays Malone very well down there. And the reason is because he doesn't play him the same way every time. One time he's down his front, the next time he's side me, and then he's playing behind me. He stays busy, and he's solid, built close to the ground, and he's strong.
Jason Williams into the game now as John Barry sits down, and Karl Malone goes to the free throw line, looking for his first points. That's his first point of the game. And tomorrow night at a special time, 6:30 Eastern on TBS, Orlando at Philadelphia, followed by Indiana at Milwaukee. Then on TNT, also at a special time at 7 p.m. Eastern, San Antonio at Minnesota, Game 3, and the Lakers at Houston in Game 3. That's the action for tomorrow night. You heard the crowd counting up to 10 seconds because Malone takes so long to shoot the free throws. Doesn't help much, but the crowd likes it. Weber gets in very deep, missed the lay-in. Divot's there. Jason Williams. Stojakovic. Kings, who were hot from the perimeter early, have cooled down. Their lead now cut to 12 points.
Well, that was bad judgment on Vottie. He had the ball 3 feet from the bucket. He threw it out.
Anderson gets the feed from Malone, and now it's a 10-point lead. And Shandon Anderson is the only Jazz player to have scored a field goal this period with 8. The other points came from Karl Malone at the line. 10-point game.
And look what Utah has done. They're playing Stockton and Isley together. That gives them the matchup with Jason and the small guard lineup that the Kings can throw at you.
How about the misses from the perimeter? There have been about 5 in a row here for Sacramento, and that's goaltending on Weber. Count the basket. The Kings' lead has been cut to 8 points. They've been cold from the perimeter. They've had the open looks, and Utah on an 8-0 run.
So important for the Kings to hit the long jumper because they live by it. Look at the goaltending by Chris Webber. As soon as it hits the backboard, you touch it, it's automatic. The Kings have to make that adjustment. They can't live by the long one alone. They got to go inside. That's what won them the game in Utah.
They have their post-up players, their best, and Webber and Divac there. Webber drives, wave off the basket. He's fouled. Chris Webber will go to the line, and that's 3 fouls now on Karl Malone. Wow. And we have 3:12 to go in the first half.
Chris Webber showing him, giving him another rocker step, and out-quicking Karl Malone again, going to his left. That's the second play, the exact same kind of move, and beat him to the spot.
So Chris Webber will go to the free throw line. He's a 45% free throw shooter in the regular season, and get this. In these playoffs, Webber is 2 for 8 from the line. That's only 25%.
And that was a Shaq brick.
We call that a brick. That's what I thought.
Big time.
Webber now 2 of 9 in the playoffs from the line. 2 of 10. That's a 20% free throw shooting average. Amazing. 3:10 to go in the half. Kings continue to lead by 12, but their offense has run out of gas here in the later stages of the second period. Carroll Bailey from Stockton.
And as you notice, as their offense, Bob, has dwindled, their defense has dwindled right along with them. That's a trap for the Kings. Strange team. When their offense is flowing, their defense picks up automatically.
Jazz now have cut that lead on a 10-0 run to only 6 points. Divac missed it. Rebound Williamson. Loose ball foul against the Kings. Called by Eddie F. Rush. The Jazz on a 10-0 run have cut this lead to 37-31. Utah gets a timeout.
And after the Vlade miss, he's making too many moves down there. It's got to be straight. Watch Corliss Williamson right there. Give the big push for the rebound. Good call by the referee and good camera work by our guys.
2:37 to go in the half. The Kings have gone 4.5 minutes without scoring a field goal. Their last points came at 7:05 to go. And look at this. You see where they get their points. 22% of their field goal attempts are threes. And here's what's happened tonight. 3 of 15.
And Bob, they live by it. In game 2, the one they won, they were 8 for 15 from three-point land. That's 53% so far in this game. In the first quarter, 33% from three-point land. And in the second period, 11%, 1 of 9, and that happened when Vlade Divac went out of the game, Bob. They went on a 3-point binge and bricking them.
Lead has been cut to 5. Webber gets the rebound off the miss.
Bob, what most concerns me with shooting poorly is that the Kings seem that their defense deteriorates as their offense goes.
10 on the shot clock. Maxwell into the paint. Anderson got his hands on that. Divac misses. Webber rebounds. They're all over Webber. Anderson almost stole that one. Webber driving. Lost the ball, then hit Divac for the lay-in. That's the first bucket in 5 minutes. And that's the Sacramento Kings.
And that's presence of mind, losing the ball and finding the open guy, still slipping into the slots.
Bailey open again. He's a good shooter from out there. He's hit 2 out of 3. Not this time. Now a 7-point bulge for the Kings. Maxwell with the runner in the lane. Little off balance. Todd Fuller rebound. Jerry Sloan now with play calls. Isley into the hands of Stockton. It's been very efficient defensively to play Stockton and Isley together. Shot clock to 6. Webber ran right through that. Maxwell ran right through that pick.
And I appreciate that because that's the way you have to play that. What's got to happen also is Webber's got to step up and give Maxwell a little more help in that getting over those picks by talking and showing.
Coming up on the AT&T halftime report, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Peter Vesey scores and highlights from tonight's first-round action, including a total wrap-up from New York on the Knicks-Miami Heat game. Stockton cuts it to 5 again. Biggest lead in this game for the Kings was 16. But they've gone stone cold here in the latter moments of the second period. Trying to post up Chris Webber, being played by Thurl Bailey. 10 on the shot clock. Cross-court pass Maxwell. Williamson, 5 on the shot clock. He's going to have to pull up and take the jump. Oh, Carlos Williamson. That's a 2, 41-34.
Big Nasty finding it.
Corliss has 10 points. 5 out of 6. Usual high numbers for him this year. Stockton penetrating. Ball's out of bounds. Belong to the Kings. Interior defense by the Kings has been excellent once again tonight.
The interior defense has been great, Bob, but up front, when you watch how Vernon Maxwell's playing John Stockton, getting over those picks, he's making John go wide, and he's not giving him any angles to the bucket. That helps your defense. Defense is a total team game, not an individual game. Look at him.
Big 3 from Howard Isley. It's now 41-37 with 30 seconds to go in the half. Remember, the Utah Jazz made this kind of run in the game number 2 and ended up taking the lead 51-49 at half. The Jazz are sneaky about getting back into a game, extending a lead, or cutting a lead late in the quarter of every ball game. Shot clock or the game clock down to 9 seconds.
And a lot of that has to do with John Stockton and his experience. He's always talking about be patient, guys. This team is not going to change the way they go do things offensively.
Fuller misses as the buzzer sounds. They couldn't get it down, but the Jazz did cut down the Kings lead to 4 points. Jazz in the half on a 16-4 run. In just a moment, we'll be going to Atlanta for the AT&T halftime report with Ernie Johnson right after this. Welcome back to Arco Arena. The Kings had led by 37-21, but Utah went on a 16-4 run over the last 7 minutes and cut the lead 2-4. And you can see the difference in the first quarter and the second quarter in the field goal percentage for the Kings, 60-22. Jazz stayed right at 40, and the rebounding margin still overwhelmingly in favor of the Sacramento Kings. As the Jazz return, you see the big 3 tonight, struggling, only 1 of 12, but the bench has come up and scored big, 22 points off the bench. I ask you, oh wise one, this is close enough, may as well be a tie.
Yeah.
How do you see it second half here at Arco?
Well, what's happened is the Jazz have rode out that emotional run by the Kings set in the first 2 quarters, and now it's a different ball game. The Kings have to come out and stick to all the defensive rules that they did in game 2, and they have to be able to play basketball defensively for 19 seconds, because now the Jazz are into their game and threatening to make the Kings play their style of basketball. If that happens, this game will be caught and over by the Utah Jazz pretty quickly here.
So Ostertag is starting the second half. He went out with a knee in the groin midway through the second period. We have a foul right away, and let's go to Cheryl Miller. Cheryl.
Just had a little difficulty with the microphone. Now I have it back. But one of the couple concerns for Rick Adelman coming in, it says, first of all, he thought that the team played well. Offensively, they had the open looks. They weren't falling. He just thought the last minute that the team was a little impatient. He was very concerned that Karl Malone only had 2 points. For Jerry Sloan, well, he said, first of all, we just got to do a better job of keeping the Kings off the offensive boards. But he said along, it's a 48-minute ball game. Stay patient, stay poised, and we'll get this win.
All right, Cheryl, thank you very much. Chris Webber scored. He now has only 4 points in the ball game.
Bob, when you listen to what
and for the third time, excuse me, Reggie, for the third time in this game, Jason Williams has stepped out of bounds.
And let me tell you, one of the reasons that is because the Kings are purposely trying to spread the floor so deep offensively that is becoming a problem. But I like what Jerry Sloan said. He's telling his team to stay patient, to stay calm. They've been in this situation before.
Loose ball scrambling on the floor. We have a Kings foul. And it's going to be on Vlade Divac, his second personal. So a scrambled beginning to this second half. Right now it's Kings 43, Utah 37. Just over a minute gone in the third period. Hornacek back in here. Isley played most of the second quarter in place of Hornacek. Jason Williams almost stealing the ball. It's not over and back because Jason touched it. 5 on the shot clock for Stockton. Stockton gets away the pass some way inside to Karl Malone.
Just a great pass. There is no other way to say that about the way John Stockton gets the ball. Corliss Williamson always looking for the easy opportunity to get in that offense. Greg Ostertag had pretty decent position, but definitely moving, giving Williamson a chance to get through. Look at this. Going to the hole. The big fella's got some legs on him. Nice look, shielding the ball with his body, and then really laying it on Ostertag, knocking him down about 4 feet.
Ostertag's first personal foul. Williamson to the line, a 64% free throw shooter. He hasn't missed, however, in the playoff series. He is now 4 of 4. Arco Arena, the series tied at 1 each. Sacramento had led by 16 in the first half, but Utah went on a 16-4 run toward the end of the second period, cut the lead to 4. Now with the 2 Williamson free throws, it's back to a 6-point lead. Sacramento, 10:24 to go in the third period. Hope you're enjoying our playoff coverage on TNT. Earlier tonight, New York clobbered Miami, and Detroit did likewise to the Atlanta Hawks.
Great adjustment by the Jazz offensively, going to their bread and butter, the pick and roll with Stockton Malone, waiting for the defense to get into help position, and Ostertag busting to the open spot. That's the way this team plays, always looking for the free cuts and the reversal plays. Look at Stockton, cut baseline, Ostertag filling the middle of the key, all the way from the weak side corner, getting there to the open spot.
That's 3 personals on Vlade Divac. Ostertag with his 3rd point of this game and a net adjustment. Ostertag is a full-service basketball player. Vlade Divac carrying his 3rd personal foul now, early moments of the third period. Ostertag misses. Divac with a rebound. We're going to get a foul on Utah. It's on Russell, and that'll be Brian Russell's 3rd personal foul.
From an offensive standpoint right now, the way this game is going, when you look at Vlade Divac with a hard rebound, Russell fighting him all over the place. Vlade, nice board. It's going to be real important for the Kings to have some kind of patience, because when their jumper's not falling, they got to figure another way to get the ball in the hole. They got to use their post-ups, Bob. They have a good advantage with 3 or 4 different players in the post-up areas.
Hornacek picks up the personal foul. Williamson will inbound.
Now remember, when the Kings got their big lead, Vlade was very active offensively against Ostertag.
We've got another foul. This time it's on John Stockton. So the team fouls building up here very quickly for Utah. That's 4 team fouls in the first 2 minutes of the third period.
John Stockton always in the hunt for that loose ball. Look at him, back there fumbling around it again, all over the place, looking for somebody just to guard. But what?
Abdul-Wahed with the jumper. He got it from Jason Williams, and it's a 7-point lead for the Sacramento Kings. Their lead had been cut to 4 at the half. Now Stockton looking for Malone. They're going to the old favorite pick and roll. Well defended. Shot clock down to 9. Stockton looking, probing, back to Malone with 4 on the shot clock. Open man Hornacek. In and out. It's been that kind of series for Hornacek after he had 18 points in the first game.
I think they got to get Hornacek out the game and play Shandon Anderson at 2 guard. He's killing them.
Williamson with the turnover. Utah trailing by 7, back with an opportunity. Stockton's going to go all the way, get it to Hornacek. Hornacek is fouled as he got the pass from John Stockton. Jeff Hornacek played only 12 minutes in the first half. That foul's going to be on Wahed, and that's his 3rd.
I can appreciate what Horny brings to the game, but I tell you what, he's running on bad legs, and when it's not flowing for him, he really does hurt them from an offensive standpoint, because they have to find someone else.
How
on the hole.
Excuse me, how about the play by Weber cutting in front of Malone and saving the pass. The crowd on their feet for Weber with a tremendous defensive play. Now Weber defended by Malone. Cross court, Jason Williams with the ball fake. Inside, pass too hard to handle by Williamson. Looks like a rugby scrum. Officials don't even know what to call. However, the Kings did timeout. Wise call.
Sometimes it's better just to knock one of his passes down just to keep it in play, because he does throw it hard, Bob.
Broken fingers could happen in this ball game. 8:27 to go in the third period. Timeout, Sacramento. A Sacramento landmark down on the river, the Money Store building with the big sign there. There's plenty of them in the arena tonight. They've had plenty to cheer about. Sacramento has led all the way since the beginning. Utah got out to a 5-0 run, and it's been Sacramento all the way since then. A long three. That beat the buzzer by Vlade Divac. Shot clock running down. Vlade buries the triple and builds the Kings lead 2-10. Oh, baby.
Vlade Divac only 25% from that place, but shot it like he knew what he was doing.
Malone working inside, scoring on Weber this time. Very quick answer by Karl Malone.
Can't let him get the ball that deep. You got to keep pushing him out.
Now Weber against Malone. Weber got it over Ostertag. Back to a 10-point lead. After the timeout, both teams gathered together better than they started this third period. With 7:48 to go, and now Stockton looking for Hornacek, who popped out off the Malone screen. Hornacek continues to struggle with his shooting.
Bob, great point about the structure of this game, but that doesn't favor the Kings. They got to get this tempo up almost into a frenzy to be their best.
Stockton nearly had the steal. Divac against Ostertag. He's going to go to the hook shot. Not this time. Ostertag with a rebound. 10-point Kings lead. They led by 4 at the half. Anderson now on the floor. Brian Russell played with a sore ankle. We don't know if it's bothering him now, but he's out early in this period. Rebound, Corliss Williamson. And the Kings continue to dominate the boards here in this game tonight. And the crowd's on their feet looking for scoring. Jason Williams. Shot clock to 10. Gets the pick from Vlade. Tried to thread the needle, and I had an angle on that as you did.
It had no chance, Bob. It had no chance. Vlade Divac took 2 seconds of the shot clock. Look at the big fella, 25% behind the arc, but right there, bang! Nice, and he gives a kiss with the 2 fingers in the air for everybody to see.
That ended up being a kicked ball, so a new shot clock for the Kings, so no harm on that. Divac goes to the hook shot, no. Rebound, John Stockton. Stockton has him running. Shandon Anderson was cutting beneath the basket, and Jason Williams bumped Stockton off, keeping the pass away from Anderson, and that's the second personal on Jason Williams.
See, Jason Williams did much better to try to get contact with Stockton way out by the half-court line. If you get so close inside with Stockton, you're going to be burned. On the other end, the post-up situation, Vlade Divac trying to get the post-up. He's got to come outside and then play his game to the inside, not post-up on the low block. That's not his game, Bob.
We have a wrestling match with Williamson and Anderson. Williamson had a hold of Anderson, who was trying to post up. And wait a minute now. Divac and Stockton exchanging words with a confrontation. Malone stepping in. Already bad blood between these two teams. Remember, in the regular season, all 3 of their games went to overtime. Then the Jazz blow out the Kings in game number 1. Game number 2, there was the game setter with Weber knocking down Stockton. So already tempers flaring. You see the sumo wrestling on the block.
And when you talk about the intensity and the fouling and the hard hits, you got to go back to the game that the Jazz won in overtime the last time. Ostertag clothesline. Vlade Divac got kicked out of the game, and the Jazz ended up winning that ball game. So every time they played, it's been a physical battle.
Yeah, that went back to April 13th, last regular season game, Reggie. 6:30 to go in the third period. Now Weber inside. Offensive foul as Weber lowered his shoulder, and Karl Malone took the charge, and that's 3 on Chris Weber.
And that's a very good call, because as Weber turned his shoulder, he led with this offhand down in Karl Malone's gut. And, you know, the Jazz are the best in taking the flop.
Chris Weber with only 6 points in this ballgame, had 20 in game number 2. Malone had low position. Weber forced him out a little bit, but Karl's going to go with it anyway. Stripped away, out of bounds. Kings ball.
Uncharacteristic of Karl Malone to go away from the basket once you got him that deep, because he likes to throw it up with the body contact and look for the three-point play in those circumstances.
Sacramento, since they led by 16 with 7 minutes to go in the half, has been a bit scrambled since then. Having trouble from the perimeter, as you saw on that three-point attempt from Jason Williams. It's out of bounds, and it'll belong to Utah again.
Bob, a little bit of adjustment defensively for the Jazz. Now double teaming down in the low post, something they don't like to do. But they're doing it with John Stockton, and it's amazing how far he can run defensively and try to get back to his man.
Malone on the low block. Stockton. Want to go back to Malone again. Now they'll go to the pick and roll. Ahead defending Stockton. Hornacek getting inside. How did he get that to go? Great play, but the leak out. Jason Williams, the jam from Abdul ahead. I saw the eyes of Rick Adelman, who went, don't do that.
Hey, listen, that's why the players love playing with Jason Williams. He's a little unorthodox. He likes the showtime, but he'll give it up to you and give it up to you so you can get a replay.
Illegal defense is the call on Sacramento. Here's the alley-oop.
And this is why. Look at this. He looks at him. He sees this man. I want to be some TV time. Come on, Abdul Wahid. Give me something. Jason Williams always looking for the little bit of showtime, and he can find it, and his players love him for it.
So these fans jammed in here to Arco Arena, standing room only. Up in the upper reaches of the balconies, you see people standing around all the edge, reminiscent to me of the Boston Garden during Boston's glory runs. So many of them, but particularly in the middle 80s. And here tonight at Arco, they're just wedged into every nook and cranny of this building. It'll be Utah ball, trailing by 8, 5:11 to go in the third. Isley in for Stockton. Interior pass to Fuller. Tip in, Karl Malone.
Great second effort by Karl Malone. The Kings doing a great job in running the blue sideline on their pick and roll. They want to push him baseline and cut off the top of the key for Karl Malone.
Weber is fouled before he had a chance to put the shot up or make the pass. And that's on Hornacek, his first personal. Let's check the team fouls. Both teams over the limit with 4:47 to go. So Chris Weber, who is shooting only 20% from the free throw line in this series, goes in to take his adventuresome free throws. A worse free throw shooter than Shaquille O'Neal. And that says all you need to know. Got this one. He's now 3 of 11 in the playoff series.
Chris Weber has a real problem with this free throws, Bob, because when you're watching, he's all arm. All arm. See how far back he shoots the ball? Free throws is a wrist shot. You bend your knees and you shoot the shot with the wrist, not arms.
Gets them both this time as we talk about his horrid free throw shooting. As it usually happens, 4:38 to go third, 8-point. Kings lead. Loose ball inside to Hornacek. Divac with the block.
Good recovery for the Kings. Paying a close attention of the 3 cuts by the Jazz.
Jason Williams getting in the paint to Vlade. Wanted the 3. Putting it on the floor. Stripped away by Hornacek. To Hornacek, defended by Williams. Pass to Anderson. Jason Williams all alone down there.
Not good defensive transition by the Kings. In an offensive situation, they run this high pick and roll for Jason Williams a lot, Bob. And one of the things he's got to get better at is penetration in the half-court game. Right there, when he turns the corner, you got to make things happen.
Yet another Sacramento turnover on a sloppy pass, a careless pass from Chris Weber. And the Jazz have cut the lead to 6 with 3:48 to go in the period. Kings led it by 4 at the half. 10 on the shot clock. Hornacek looking for Malone, who's come alive in this third period. Isley penetrating on Wahid, kicking back out. This is Anderson. Big 3 from Anderson, and it's a 3-point Kings lead.
Well, right now, the Jazz are doing an excellent job of making the Kings play defense for about 19 seconds. And they know if they do that consistently, they'll get any shot they want on the floor.
Shandon Anderson has been a major factor tonight. He has 16 points. Divac gets the double team, goes up and under.
Bob, he gets the double team. That's not something they were doing in the first half. Right now, doing an excellent job of double teaming and covering the perimeter.
No foul. It was knocked out of bounds. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. There's a final in Phoenix. Portland comes back. They led early. Phoenix regained the lead, and now Portland got that one tonight. So Portland will advance with a 3-0 sweep over Phoenix. Williamson. He's played well tonight, particularly in the absence of Brian Russell. Russell started the game. He's back in now, but Brian Russell has been playing with a sore ankle. So even when he's on the floor, he's semi-absent. Doesn't jump as well as he had been. Anderson to Malone. Rebound Williams.
I'll tell you what. That's carrying. That's a way high dribble on the crossover.
Evots against Todd Fuller. To Williams. Bullet pass inside. Corliss Williamson. 16 for Williamson tonight. Corliss Williamson had been averaging only 7.5 in the playoffs, averaged only 13 in the regular season, but he started scoring early tonight and has been confident all evening long. Todd Fuller misses the jumper. Williamson pulls down the rebound. He's got 5 boards. So Corliss has been a major factor in this game. Kings lead back to 7. Under 2 minutes to go in the third period. Williamson, not this time. Malone rebound. Isley to Malone. Didn't get the finger roll. Here's Jason Williams. It's 3-on-2. Pulls up for the 3. Crowd ready to explode. You heard the ooh.
And that's when you know you got something special. Every time a guy gets the ball, he does something, the crowd is anticipating something great.
Shandon Anderson down on the baseline. He can't find the range now. So the Kings shooting very poorly tonight, but particularly in this third period, but so is Utah.
Bob, what is happening with the Utah Jazz? Running away from the offensive rebound opportunity, already trying to get into transition defense.
Williamson powers inside, can't get it to fall. It went everywhere but in. Now Anderson on the run to Isley, back to Anderson, to Isley, sets for the 3. Long rebound. Williamson rakes it loose, but we're going to get a loose ball foul on Corliss. And that'll be his 3rd personal.
Jason Williams always looking for the ooh, we play for TV. On the rebound, on the outlet. Look at him turn around. Find Corliss Williamson. Look at the reaction of Jason Williams. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
Back to Arco Arena. Sacramento holding on to a 7-point lead. It is tenuous with less than a minute to go in the third period. Here are the latest headlines on the playoffs this year. The Lakers on track, certainly after game 2, leading 2-0 over Houston. The Wolves shocked the Spurs. That series tied at 1-1. Wolves playing the role of the Kings in that series. And the Blazers swept the Suns, winning that series 3-0. That means now the winner of this series, Utah and Sacramento, will face Portland. It'll be either San Antonio, Minnesota, Lakers, or Houston meeting in the top bracket. We'd like to welcome those viewers who are watching the Portland-Phoenix games. Jason Williams sits down on the bench after shaking the place up with his play. And Pollard comes into the ball game for Sacramento, along with John Barry and Vernon Maxwell. That was the magic bench combination in game number 2.
Well, like you said, they like to call themselves the disruptors, and they do a great job with disrupting the offense with their pressure defense and hustle all over the floor. And when they go to that trio with Barry, Maxwell, and Jason, they got 3 guys that can shoot the bomb 3-pointers.
Vernon Maxwell. Defended by Isley. Todd Fuller in now playing Weber. Maxwell takes it all the way to the hoop in 2 deep. Loose ball picked up. Isley way out in front to Anderson. Anderson missed it. Good defense by Barry on that, causing Anderson not to have the clear look. In the corner, Maxwell from Barry. Maxwell not able to hit those long balls tonight. Malone hits the floor. Shandon Anderson comes away with the ball. 60-54 Kings by 6 with 22 seconds to go in the third period. Isley will hold it. Get the clock way down. There is a 5-second differential. Isley's pull-up jumper. That's a big one. Kings led it by 4 at the end of the half. They're up by 4 here. 5 seconds. Barry's going to have to launch a long one. with Shandon Anderson in his face. At the end of 3, it's the same point differential as at half, 60-56 Sacramento. Who will the fourth quarter belong to? We'll find out after this. Sacramento Kings looking for their first home playoff win since the franchise moved to Sacramento from Kansas City in 1985. They're leading it by 4 going in to the fourth period. Here's how the scoring has gone throughout. 60-56. Both of them scored 19 points in that period. And the Utah Jazz had big fourth quarter troubles in game number 2.
Bob, it was their inability to defend the Kings down the stretch in the fourth quarter that lost that ball game for them in the fourth. Not double teaming, and Weber, big fourth quarter.
Pollard in, trying to defend Karl Malone now. Malone with the ball with 7 on the shot clock, backing on Pollard. Fuller cuts down the lane. It's stripped.
Good weak side help. The Kings 3-man, always center court, in the middle of the floor defensively, stopping a lot of that free cut action that the Jazz like to have.
Jason Williams on the penetration, goes to the finger roll and gets the bounce. 62-56, big bucket from Jason Williams. 11:19 to go. This fourth quarter, Utah struggled in game 2 here. Trying to go to Malone. Pollard plays him well usually. Isley gets it from Malone. Jason Williams didn't get to him in time to hinder the jump shot.
Karl not very aggressive offensively tonight. Really not looking at the bucket. Not doing the things he normally wants to do. Post up and then step out.
Karl's only 3 of 11. And the Kings turn it over without an opportunity to shoot. A chance to cut it to 2 or better. Anderson drives hard. Back out to Brian Russell. Barry goes down. Russell's open for the shot. Rebound, Pollard.
Pollard, nice defensive help. Good rebound. Good defensive help in the middle. John Barry, nice. The Kings, solid defense on 2 possessions of the Jazz.
Chris Webber with 10 on the shot clock. Webber, turnaround jumper, won't go. The little half jump hook. Webber has struggled tonight. He has 8 points in the game at 20 in game number 2. Malone left open in the middle. Nobody there to bother him, and Karl just took it unmolested to the hoop, and it's a 2-point Kings lead. Closest Utah's been since they led 5-0 at the beginning of the ball game. Barry with the drive and the handoff. Good penetration by Barry and the lay-in. And Corliss Williamson has 18 points.
And that's what's so nice about the different players on the floor. Barry, a penetrator and a disher. Williams, a jump shot shooter. Nice combination.
Barry on Anderson. Malone now out high with Pollard on him. Isley once again alone. Jason Williams not there. Out of bounds. Kings ball. Corliss Williamson, by the way, with his 18 points tonight, that's his career playoff high. So he has come up big in a very critical game. 9:22 to go, and the Kings lead it by 4.
Back here at Arco Arena, the Kings holding on to a 4-point lead. I want to show you how the Kings keep the ball on the strong side. Right here, Jason Williams going into off of the UCLA cut by the Jazz. Let it go, guys. Watch Jason Williams come on the backside of Karl Malone right here, and Shandon Anderson, Isley puts a massive pick on Pollard. He cannot allow that to happen. That is the way the UCLA pick is so successful, because the guards set mean picks.
Stojakovic into the game, penetrating. He's fouled on the drive. Shot clock had run down to 8 seconds. Jazz with that first team foul. Kings have yet to pass. Lazy pass. Isley gets the lay-in. 13 for Isley in this ball game off the bench. He's played a lot more than Hornacek has and been effective. Down to a 2-point game again. Back into Divac against Foster. Draws the double team. And you know, I just saw Stojakovic step out of bounds also. That extended defense by the Jazz has now caused 4 turnovers by Sacramento in this game, with players on the sideline stepping out of bounds 3 times for Williams and once for Stojakovic.
And Bob, that's because they're really trying to spread the Utah Jazz defense out. They know they have an advantage on the post area, and the Jazz are not good at covering long distances because they're not a greatly athletic team. But really, to the point of stepping out of bounds is ridiculous.
Chance for Utah to tie. Barry in the face of Anderson. Down low, Jason Williams got the steal.
Good anticipation by Jason Williams on that defensive play.
And we got a foul on Foster, holding on to Divac, and now Divac and Foster have a few words with each other. Wait a minute now. Now Divac and Stockton join.
John needs to stay out of the middle of all that before he gets hit again. There's no reason for him to get over there and get involved in Vlade Divac and Foster's little altercation. That's the second time tonight he's done that.
Technical foul has been called. First of all, they called double technicals. Personal foul on Foster and double techs on Foster and Divac.
And smart move by Divac. Not appreciating the physical play and the trash talking that's going on the floor. Gets it on the post and takes it right to Foster, knowing the referees are looking at it.
Here's what started that altercation. Well, that's not what started it. That's the discussion between
It's just a little bit of talk, a little trash talk by 2 guys that are out there banging, and no reason for anybody else to get involved in it.
So Divac goes back to the free throw line. Vlade tonight, 13 points. But and we have Todd Fuller back into the game for Greg Foster, who will sit down.
But I have to believe, Bob, this is where their advantage is right now. Not getting much point production out of Chris Webber. Corliss Williamson had been carrying the team. He's not in there right now. Vlade Divac going against Fuller in the low post is where the advantage is. They got to go to him.
65-62. Kings, 8:10 to go. Anybody's ball game. The series tied at 1 apiece. Utah blows them out in the first one. Kings surprise them by 11 in game 2. Seizing the home court advantage. Beautiful pass from Karl Malone to the cutting Howard Isley, who has 15 points in this game.
And just the fact that Karl Malone faced up and looked at the bucket made John Barry take a look. And when you take a look on the Jazz, they find a way to burn you.
Now Isley fouls Barry. Keep a close watch on the team foul situation. That's the 4th team foul, so the next Utah foul will be sending the Kings to the line.
And as soon as John Barry looked at Karl Malone on the face-up, Karl Malone does it better than any power forward in the league, and that's give it up.
Divac. Now Fuller trying to play him. Ostertag has had just a few minutes tonight. Stojakovic from the corner from Jason Williams. That's a big triple. Stojakovic knocks down the 3.
Bob, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The advantage in the low post with Vlade Divac going against Fuller, and then the widespread offense with the shooters on the floor, Peja, Barry, and Jason Williams.
Malone in the face of Pollard. Karl Malone heating up here in the 4th period. Karl has 12 points. He had only 6 in the first half. It's a 2-point game. The Jazz had cut it to 1. Back to Divac, working on Fuller.
Trying to wait for the double team to come. Look at him hold it. No double team, you got to shoot it, but you got to convert in there. You got to play big. This is big time ball.
Stockton defended by Jason Williams, looking for Isley, cutting on the baseline. Now Pollard. Barry got his hands on that. Nice defense by John Barry.
Two guys
by 2.
2 guys in the league you can't front. Karl Malone and Shaq. The way you defend it is just what Barry did. A lot of ball pressure.
Jason Williams with the pick. Then on the sideline, fade away, miss Anderson with the rebound to Stockton. Now Jazz running. Out on the right wing is Karl Malone. Somebody stripped it loose.
You got to run.
Malone ended up with a ball. It was a pass by Shandon Anderson while laying flat on the floor, and hold it just a moment. Somebody's down over here. It looks like Divac. I don't know if you can see the left side of his face. You can't obviously in this shot, but he's taken a big cut over there. He's going to have to go to the bench. The game is tied. It's the first time it's been tied in the entire ball game. 68 all with 6:07 remaining. And let's see what happens to Divac's here during this scramble for the ball.
His own guy right there steps on Vlade Divac's foot right there. And then, of course, right there, John Stockton, a little bit of a throw on the elbow if you checked it out closely. I don't know if that got him in the eye, but wanting it more than the Kings, the Jazz get that loose ball and the layup.
So Utah and Sacramento are tied at 68 with 6 minutes to go in this ball game. Vlade Divac went down hard. Stockton went down on top of him, and Vlade comes away with a cut around his eye.
Look right here, right there, one hit, and then watch his head hit the floor right there. Well, here it comes, bang. That hurts. And you're talking about physical basketball. The Kings didn't want the ball bad enough. The Jazz out-hustled them on the floor with the floor burns, and it is physical out there, Bob.
Pollard into the ball game as Weber backs in. Weber's been very quiet offensively tonight. Goes to his favorite shot, that jump hook. It won't go. Malone gets the rebound. A chance for the Jazz to take the first lead since the opening moments of this ball game.
And the Kings very stale offensively. No movement on the weak side.
The last time the Jazz led was at 5-4, 7 on the shot clock. Stockton looking down low to Malone. Pollard defending. Shot clock to 3. Malone passes inside. And was there a... First of all, there was a violation of the shot clock, but I believe a whistle before the shot clock wound down. Eddie F. Rush calls the foul on John Barry, his third.
Karl Malone told me before the game, he says, Reggie, I always tell the guys from my passing, never stop moving, because if I see you, I'm going to get it to you. Right there is a great example. Karl Malone with the shot clock running down finds Shandon Anderson after he goes up looking for the jumper.
Shandon Anderson having a big game here tonight. Has 16 points, hasn't scored in the fourth quarter. And he still hasn't scored in the fourth quarter. And let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Well, Bob and Reggie, Vlade Divac's in the locker room receiving some stitches, and they're trying to do it as quickly as possible, so obviously he can return back to the game.
All right, thanks, Cheryl. We'll keep a close eye on that. Barry will sit down. Vernon Maxwell comes into the ball game. Jason Williams, Maxwell, Weber, Stojakovic, and Pollard on the floor for the Kings. And that gives the Utah Jazz their first lead since they led 5-4 with 5:20 to go in this game. Maxwell penetration, threw up a prayer. Loose ball saved nicely by Pollard. New shot clock. Stojakovic misses. Weber with a rebound.
Good hustle by the Kings.
In the corner, Maxwell. Big three's been missing them all night, but hits the big one, and it's a 2-point Kings lead.
Tough situation for the Kings. They got to come up with some big shots. Playing half-court basketball right now, and that's the Jazz kind of game.
Maxwell now defending Isley. Jason Williams on Stockton, 10 on the shot clock, trying to post Karl Malone. Against Pollard. Isley over Williams. Rebound Kings. Vernon Maxwell to Jason Williams. Maxwell had missed 8 shots in a row before he hit that big three, and that's traditional for offensive foul on Jason Williams. No, it's on Weber. It's on Weber for the clear out. 4 fouls on Weber.
That was the same play where he really lowered the boom on John Stockton in game 2. That same type of play.
4:20 to go in the ball game. 2-point lead for the Kings. They led by as many as 16 points midway through the second quarter.
That's a good foul by Vernon Maxwell. Pollard allowing Stockton to pick him off again. Vernon Maxwell did only thing he could do, and that's stand Karl Malone up.
That's 2 team fouls now on the Kings. The Jazz with 4. They'll be over the limit, and they commit their next foul. 4 minutes to go in the ball game. Vlade Divac has exited from the locker room and should be back in here shortly. Tape over his stitches. Malone, turnaround jumper, big bucket from the big player, Karl Malone. The mailman has 16 tonight.
And Bob, he's wide open because of the ball movement. Last time, he went up and found the open guy. This time, on no help, he finds the open thread.
Now, Weber to Maxwell. Misses from 3. Stockton with a rebound. Tied at 71. Anderson. Cross-court pass. Isley gave up the 3. Jerry Sloan likes that. He likes the Utah Jazz to look for the openings, get that shot clock down. It's down to 7 now. Malone on the drive finger roll. Karl Malone has 18, and he has put this team on his back and is carrying them here in the fourth quarter, and the Jazz have the lead. Karl has 10 in this period. Chris Webber fouled as he spins into the middle by Todd Fuller.
And this is playoff basketball, Bob. 19 seconds of tough defense if the Kings want to win this game every time down court, because the Jazz want to run that long. On the other end, they got to get some ball movement. They got to get some passing around and hitting shots.
Chris Webber 2 of 4 from the line. You see he has only 8 points in this game, only 6 field goals. Tomorrow night at a special time, 6:30 Eastern on TBS. Orlando at Philadelphia, Game 3, followed by Indiana at Milwaukee in Game 3. TNT at 7. These are special times. 7 Eastern time. San Antonio at Minnesota, and the Lakers at Houston. Tomorrow night, we continue with our quadruple headers. Stojakovic with the rebound off the missed free throws from Webber.
That is a big offensive rebound.
Webber against Fuller. Turnaround jumper. Webber has struggled tonight. Jazz by 2. Series tied at 1 apiece. Stockton pops out. He'll look for Malone. Shot clock to 10. Malone with 10 in the quarter.
See, that's a good handoff defensively. You see how the guards come together and then give up each other?
Malone is fouled as he goes to the basket, and he'll go to the free throw line. The crowd has been taken out of the game by the steady play of Utah in this fourth period, and the Jazz lead it by 2. 73-71 Utah here, 2:37 remaining in this ball game. Malone is going to the free throw line. Karl Malone has only been to the line twice tonight. This is a man who's always among the league leaders in trips to the line per game, averaging just under 10 again this year. But Karl is 2 for 2 and will go to the line. Here's what's happened in the game for Karl. 0-2-6-10. Looks like an upward graph for a total of 18 in this game.
Bob, I like the way Karl has played this game, mainly because he's let the game come to him. He hasn't forced his game. Not a lot of shots, not shooting the ball extremely well, but doing some other things, getting some assists, and now in crunch time, he's been very visible out there.
10 seconds to shoot a free throw. Karl takes so much time. That's why you hear the crowd counting. Karl gets them both. He's heard it all before, as he said before the ball game. He knew what this crowd would do, and it was just important for Utah to keep their poise and keep pounding away. That's what they've done, and now they've taken a 4-point lead. Malone has 20. Divac. Pass inside. Jason Williams from Vlade. Back to a 2-point Jazz lead. 2:20 to go in the game.
That's why Vlade's so important down there, Bob. He creates the double team to get the open guys the shots.
The Jazz go to the same place so often. They execute it so well, it doesn't matter if you know what's coming. 5 on the shot clock. Maxwell cuts off Stockton. Malone with 2. He'll put the ball up. That would have counted. Big offensive board from Todd Fuller. Divac's in his face, and we've got a timeout called by Utah with 1:49 to go. It'll be Jazz ball with 20 on the shot clock when we come back. Wow, this has been a beauty. The crowd now sitting on their hands. They're biting their nails. Welcome back to Arco Arena. The crowd still enjoying it, even though they're down 2 here in Sacramento, 75-73. Reminder coming up right after the game. It's Inside the NBA with Bob Lorenz, Darrell Walker, the former Toronto coach, and Peter Vesey. Scores, highlights of round 1 action, including complete coverage of that Knicks win over Miami tonight. So here we go. Utah inbounding with 1:49 to go. Stockton. Maxwell defending Stockton. Stojakovic on Anderson. Jason Williams on Isley. Stockton into the paint. And Todd Fuller goes down, no foul. And it'll be Sacramento ball with a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3. Nobody got back. Webber's down low. His shot was blocked. Incredible. It's been an incredible game. Now Utah with a chance to build it to 4 again with 1:25 remaining.
The Kings have to really play some tough defense for 19 seconds in this look. They can't give the Jazz any easy baskets.
Clock down to 7 seconds. Weber got off his feet. Stockton got it to Malone. Jason Williams came away with it. A minute to go in the game. A chance for the Kings to tie. Stojakovic going to drive over to Weber. Nothing is gone for Weber. We've got a loose ball foul, and it's going to be on Utah. 56 seconds remaining in the game. Chris Weber has had an offensive nightmare tonight. Weber with only 8 points, none in the quarter, and only 3 of 11 from the floor.
Good hustle by Vlade Divac. It's just really important for the Jazz to cover the perimeter of the Kings. It's better if they can play Divac down in the low post with Fuller one-on-one, so he doesn't have to start worrying about three-point shooters. They got to find somebody that can put the ball in the bucket if you're a Kings fan.
This free throw would tie it at 75 with under a minute remaining in the game. Vlade showing the scars of battle. It's tied at 75.
These two teams, no stranger to overtime basketball.
Crowd on their feet now with 50 seconds remaining. Isley defended by Williams. Stockton, Maxwell on him. Weber on Malone. 10 seconds. Isley penetrates. Weber grabbed the ball. But there's a whistle. There's going to be a hold call. The crowd's so noisy, the players can't hear the referee blow the whistle, and that was the 5th foul on Weber.
And Peja very late getting over there. That's cut off Isley on that drive. Had he been there one step sooner, he could have stopped the foul of Isley going to the bucket.
Isley has not missed a free throw in the playoff series, and he still hasn't. He's 8 for 8. And 37.7 remaining.
And the most consistent guard of the Jazz trio out there, Isley, been very strong in all 3 basketball games.
2-point Utah lead. Isley has 17 points tonight. Kings timeout. Utah 77-75. Series tied at 1. Back to Arco in a moment. It's been a nail-biter. Kings down to 37.7 remaining in the game. Reggie, Kings offensive strategy.
Kings right now, the only play they've been running in the half-court offense has been their spread. Get it to the low post, keep the court wide, and you got shooters on the floor. You got Maxwell, you got Jason Williams, and you got Peja. Not necessarily settling for the jumper. Maybe take a look, let the defense run by, and take it to the hole.
Jason Williams. Maxwell inside to Divac.
See how spread?
Defended by Malone. Divac up and under. Fouled by Malone. Divac will go to the line with 29.5 seconds to go. That's only the 4th on Malone. Not a significant factor at this point in the game.
You have to think that Jerry Sloan did not want to go double team on Vlade. Look how spread the court is. Take a look. Guys all the way on the perimeters. Vlade all the way down by himself. If the double team comes, he's got shooters right here.
Vlade 5 of 6 from the line tonight. He's an excellent free throw shooter. This one would tie it with 29.5 seconds to go. Both teams have 2 full timeouts and 1:20 remaining in this game.
And remember, in game 2, the mistake the Jazz made was they played single coverage down on the low post, and the Kings hit big shots.
It's tied at 77. Everybody on their feet. 4.4-second differential in the shot and game clock. Of course, looking for Malone. Weber on him. Now the pick and roll. Stockton, 10 on the shot clock. John kicks it out to Isley, who's got 17 tonight. Big 3-point shot. Doesn't go. Fuller back tip. Shot clock at 7, 6, 5. Malone driving 3. That doesn't go. 1.5 seconds. Chance for another shot. No. We've got overtime for the 4th time this year between these 2 teams. 3 times in the regular season, and this in the 3rd game of the playoff series. What a series it is. 5 minutes of free basketball coming up. Ready to begin the overtime, and we even have promos in our audience here in Sacramento. Isley missed long, then Karl Malone missed. The Jazz had some opportunity.
And these are moments when you start kind of wetting your pants, when the guys get good looks like this. That's a good look by Howard Isley. Look at the rebound tip by Todd Fuller. And then, of course, Karl Malone. Good look at the basket, and Weber had his hand in his face. That's good, solid defense. That's why we're in this overtime, Bob.
Tied at 77, Utah with the first possession. Utah won 2 of the overtimes in the regular season. Kings won 1. Malone being defended by Divac. Fake the handoff, then gets the turnaround open look, doesn't hit it. Divac couldn't grab the rebound. Malone misses again. Weber did. Jason Williams on the run.
Oh, that's one time Jason needed to really penetrate and cause some action. He had him on transition, everybody moving, and you know Karl Malone would have fouled him.
Now Divac, Ostertag back into the ballgame. Been out a long time. Divac backs him down low, misses the lay-in. He was point-blank range. Still tied at 77. 50 seconds gone in the overtime. Malone's turnaround fade doesn't go. Long rebound corralled by Jason Williams. Still tied. Now down to 4 minutes in the overtime.
Quick shot by Karl Malone. Didn't run any clock down. Not the way they really want to play this overtime, I'm sure.
Going back to Divac against Ostertag. Still isolated, waiting for the double. It's not coming. Divac has it stripped by John Stockton.
One extra dribble gave John a chance to go get it, and that's exactly what he did. He waited till Divac's back was turned.
Stockton so big on hitting the big shots in situations like this. John hasn't scored much tonight. He has only 5 points. Jason Williams, nice defense.
2 defensive gems by 2 point guards in the overtime. Nice play.
Pick and roll. Jason Williams misses from long range. Stojakovic nearly saved it. Now Malone with it. No team has scored in this overtime. Nearly 2 minutes elapsed.
Tough shot. Jason Williams in the overtime. Biggest game of his young career. Takes a 30-footer with 3 minutes to go.
All the picks and screens being set by Utah in their classic offensive sets with 6 on the shot clock. Malone missing. Still tied. Now 2:52 to go. Neither team has scored in this overtime.
Well, that's because it's becoming a jump shot contest. You still got to play banging underneath the boards.
Now Weber on the post. He'll go to his jump hook. 2-point lead by Sacramento.
And you got to find somebody that's going to go in the paint and do some damage.
Weber had been struggling. That's his first field goal since the third period ended. Has 10 points in the game. He was 0 for 5 in the fourth period. Looking for Malone, as usual, on the block. Divac has him pushed way out. Pass inside Ostertag. Ostertag misses it. Rebound by Vlade Divac. 2:13 to go in overtime. This crowd is in a frenzy at Arco.
And if the Jazz aren't going to double team that low post, you got to go back to the well. It's up to you, big fella.
Jump hook. Weber misses. Stockton with the rebound. Minute 58 remaining in OT. Stockton tries to take Maxwell to the hoop. Maxwell, good position defense. Back to Malone. Double time this time. Open man Anderson. 4-3.
Short.
Air ball. King's ball.
Oh, he gave him the lizard arms.
Ostertag's going to sit down now as Todd Fuller gets back into the game. Jerry Sloan not happy with Ostertag's play. We have 1:44 to go in overtime. Kings up 79-77. Series tied at 1 each. Kings have never won a home playoff game since they moved here from Kansas City in '85. Weber backing down Fuller. Minute 30, 8 on the shot clock. Fuller with the foul. No basket.
Chris Weber looking for someone to go to. Doesn't get the double team. Everybody's covered. He's down there by himself. He has to understand that when he was with the Wizards, Bernie Bickerstaff used to get very frustrated because he couldn't go to him for the big shots. He has proven that he can make the big shots. You got to keep going to him and let him make some decisions for you.
Stojakovic will inbound, and yes, they are going to get Brian Russell back into the game, and Shandon Anderson will sit down. Minute 29 to go, new 24-second clock. Kings up by 2. Weber right back to the well, as you say, Reggie.
Back to the well.
Backing in. Todd Fuller, the jump hook, misses again.
But he's settling. You can't just settle for the same shot every time. You got to make your move quick. You see the defense is not coming. Watch take the jump hook. Take him all the way in.
Crowd chanting defense for the Kings. Stockton probing, looking. Bounce pass Malone. He draws the foul as he drives with 7 on the shot clock. 1:03 to go in the ball game. Malone took it down with the clock running down inside. Weber has just fouled out of the game. Chris Weber with his 6th personal foul.
And this is why you got to keep ball movement right there. Never stop moving. John Stockton finding Karl Malone. Nice play and a big one in this game.
Weber fouls out with 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Karl Malone to the free throw line. Malone hasn't missed there tonight. He's 4 out of 4, and Pollard will replace Weber with 1:03 to go. The 2 free throws here would tie it for Utah.
And Bob, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me. The Kings have not run any offensive set except for that spread offense, throw it to the low post. With Weber out of the game, Vlade not being able to hit the easy ones, they got to come up with a different offensive play to finish this game out.
See the dejection on the face of Chris Weber. Well, you couldn't see it, but believe me, it's there. Malone ties it at 79, 1:03 to go. 2 teams went to 3 overtime games in the regular season, Utah winning 2 of them. The series tied at 1-1. Back to Divac in the same position as Weber. See if Divac can do any better against Malone. His hook shot.
Oh, that's a huge one, Bob.
46.5 seconds in overtime. Do the Kings have a defensive stop? Utah, the veteran Western Conference defending champions. They've been here before. Isley pull-up jumper. Big bucket from Isley, who's having a career playoff night tonight. Isley with 19, 32 seconds to go in what might be the first overtime. Looking again for Divac. Going into the paint once again, no double team. Divac jump hook. Rattles home. Clock down to 21-5. Kings by 2.
And that's what happens if you don't play double team basketball in the low post. You see him just walk right in there. Pollard's got to step up on this pitch.
Russell wide open. Hard to the hoop. Divac's got a piece of it. Malone rebound. Fuller fouled hard by Divac with 4.2 seconds remaining. Todd Fuller has not taken a free throw in this playoff series. He is a 60% free throw shooter on the regular season, so that was a good foul from Vlade Divac.
Fuller only shoots 60% from the free throw line. Bob, and if you got to have stops, it's just as good when you foul somebody hard and stop them from getting a layup.
Sacramento going to ice Fuller now as the Kings get a timeout. 4.2 seconds remaining in overtime. Wow, hold on.
Sacramento up by 2 points right here. The spread offense. Vlade Divac down here with Karl Malone by himself. You see the offensive guys over here, and then watch Vlade Divac work on Karl Malone by himself. It ain't pretty, but it's playoff basketball. Bang! Look at the roll. That's a soft one, Bob. That's a softie.
What a series this has turned out to be. Utah blows out Sacramento in the first game at Salt Lake City by 30 points. The Kings stun the Jazz, winning by 11 on Monday night. They come back here to Arco. The Kings led by as many as 16 in the first half. Jazz battled back to take a 1- and 2-point lead a couple of times here late in the ball game, and with overtime, 4.2 seconds to go, Todd Fuller goes to the line. He has not shot a free throw in the playoff series. He's a 60% shooter, only took 50 free throws all year long. He hit 30 of them, and these are the biggest of his young career.
And they're icing him again, Bob, making him really think about it.
You see the look on Fuller's face as he looks away. If we get a shot of his face, I'm telling you, the young man looks shell-shocked, but he's a heck of a ball player in his second year from North Carolina State. Told you about the overtimes earlier this year. Jazz won the first one, Kings won the second one. Then the game Reggie, you and I broadcast here on April 13th, their last regular season meeting. The Jazz got that one 105 to 100 in overtime. So this is the fourth overtime between these two teams this year.
And Bob, this finish of this game is really mirroring the game we saw in Game 2 in Utah. Offense by the Kings, low post game, no double teams by the Jazz, and somebody, last game it was Chris Webber, tonight it's been Vlade Divac delivering in the paint, and that's what they gotta have.
Well, the standing room only tickets way up at the top of this Arco Arena were worth their weight in gold. One man who's a ticket broker here in Sacramento said that he was able to buy his first new car since 1987 thanks to the Sacramento Kings this year. That's how hot this community is on the Kings. Game reset. Utah with 3 timeouts in this overtime period. You see what it is, but there's only 4.2 seconds as Todd Fuller steps to the free throw line. Let's watch and wait.
And he looks stiff, Bob. I haven't seen a guy get iced like that 2 timeouts in a row.
Now Utah gets a timeout. Utah better not celebrate yet. An offensive rebound would still give the Jazz a chance to win. Sacramento leads it by 2. Fuller has 1 free throw to go. Utah called timeout, probably to call a play for an intentional miss and a chance for a rebound and the basket that would win or tie this overtime game.
And for the Kings, you know that they're thinking the only thing they talked about in that huddle is on the miss, you got to get the rebound no matter what. If you can't get it, you got to tap it, hit it as hard as you can down to the other side of the floor. Now, if he makes the free throw, you got to get the ball out of bounds and into a good free throw shooter's hand quickly. All he has to do is cover up and hold on for his own free throw.
Now Utah, after they see who's on the floor here for the Sacramento Kings, calls a timeout. And remember, when they come back in, we have 1 Todd Fuller free throw remaining. My, oh my, I remember Doug Collins telling me about an intentional missed free throw that the Philadelphia 76ers had when he, of course, a great free throw shooter, was playing with Dr. J. And they won a key playoff game back in the late 70s with Collins missing the free throw, Dr. J leaping high above everybody and jamming it home and winning the game. This, if that were to happen for Utah, would tie this and probably send it into its second overtime.
And Bob, I saw one of the greatest tips off of a missed free throw that in my entire career, and that was off of a Laker-Warrior game. Kobe Bryant tipped it in off of a missed free throw by Glenn Rice, about 4 feet away from the basket, and won the game for the Lakers. That was a huge play. So there are a lot of things that can happen. And the way Fuller shot that last free throw, it doesn't look good for him to make this free throw either. And you got to think that they might, just like you said, go on and try to miss it and take their chances.
Now the Jazz tonight have 9 offensive rebounds. Malone has 4 of them. Let's see if Pollard, who's on the right side of the free throw lane with Malone, can keep him out. Ostertag back in, and the man on the inside of him is Vlade Divac. But look for somebody to come from the top, Isley or Brian Russell.
And the King guards are face guarding.
It's missed. Pollard with the rebound. The foul, 2.8 seconds remaining. And look out, Maxwell over on the side with Russell. Ostertag stepping in. Brian Russell calming him down. Rick Adelman is all the way out. Excuse me, Reggie. Rick Adelman and Jerry Sloan are all the way out here in the middle of both of this.
You got to think. You got to really be patient. You can't get anything silly right now.
Let's look over in the corner, Reggie. Maxwell, Divac, and Jason Williams calming each other down. That's why he's out. We've got the personal foul on Karl Malone with 2.8 seconds remaining in the game, and the Kings up by 2.
The Kings face guard, and look at Maxwell stand Russell up. He won't let him go, and that's where the takedown comes in. Fuller Look at this. This is really what you have to do under these circumstances. Face guard, nobody gets it. It's my ball.
Pollard will go to the line. Scott Pollard, second year out of Kansas, is 69% on the regular season, 2 out of 3 in the playoff series. And Maxwell and Russell and Jason Williams are still jawing way back here in the backcourt. But the most important thing right now is Pollard hitting one or both of these. You see, he hasn't taken any. Pollard misses. That was a double technical on Maxwell and Russell. Not significant at this point, but that was a big miss. And the officials have reset seconds on the game clock. 3.3 remaining. That'll be plenty of time for Utah to get off a shot. Pollard hits one, giving them a 3-point lead. Timeout, Utah. 3.3 seconds. They'll need a 3-pointer to tie. Oh, baby.
Scott Pollard's been playing big for him. Big free throw with the chin strap beard. He's got to hold his hat on. Nice play from the big fella.
Well, the two teams talking about their strategy now for the final 3.3 seconds to this excited crowd here at Arco. Tomorrow night, special time, if you'll note on your screen, for both of these doubleheaders. First of all, on TBS, Magic 76ers at 6:30 Eastern Time. Pacers Bucks will follow. Then on TNT, special time, 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Spurs Timberwolves, that series tied at 1 apiece. And the Lakers Rockets. Lakers hoping to close out at Houston. Friday at 7 on TBS. Hawks will play at Detroit. Pistons clobbered the Hawks 79-63 tonight at the Palace. And now 3 to get ready is a good one. 3.3 seconds to defend the 3-point lead for the Kings. The Jazz, in case you're wondering what they've done with their 3-point field goals tonight, they have made only 3 of 8. Isley 1 of 4, Stockton 1 of 1, Anderson 1 of 2.
Bob, the only thing the Kings have to do to pull this out is not let the Jazz hit a 3-pointer. That means even if you let them drive to the bucket, don't let them pull up and hit the 3. You got to face guard them up high, make them throw it as far deep as you into the floor and not get something out front. You got to play tough defense way out here so they can't have a good look at the 3s.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious call would be to foul, not in the act of shooting, prior to any chance to get a 3 off.
If they take any time at all, it would be a good one.
Of course, we've seen fouls on 3-pointers and a 4-point opportunity, which would literally win it for Utah.
Well, they've had plenty of time in those timeout and this timeout to talk about exactly what's going to happen. Not a lot of options for the Jazz. They need the 3.
Now, Jazz have put Hornacek, Stockton, Isley, and Brian Russell on the floor. All of them good 3-point shooters. John Barry in for defense for the Kings.
See, from that lineup, Bob, you got to chase the offense to the basket. You don't care if they throw it to him going to the bucket. You have to really stop them from getting it outside the 3-point line.
That was a warning. Into Stockton. He's got a shot at it. Sacramento wins their first playoff game in this Sacramento franchise history. They had never won a home playoff game since the franchise moved here in 1985, and the surprising Kings have taken a 2-1 lead in this series over the defending Western Conference champion Utah Jazz. Vlade Divac, worried about the situation in Yugoslavia, worried about his parents, his brother, getting only 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. Came up very big in this game tonight. Vlade, 22 points and 14 rebounds. He's with Cheryl.
Vlade, first of all, congratulations to the team. The franchise's first playoff win. Overtime, he had some big minutes taking over for Chris Webber.
Well, it was a big game for us, for fans, for City. I think, we did a good job defensively on Carmelo in the first half. That was a big key. We jumped on them just like they jumped on us in the first game up in Utah. And on the end, we were a little lucky, but,
Vlade, after game 2, the one thing that everybody said, you guys said in the locker room, was you were not content with just that win, that you wanted to come home and continue that. That was the case tonight.
Well, that's a playoff. You go one by time. Now we have two games up. We need one more. we'll try to do the same thing on Friday.
Game 3 took an overtime win. What will it take in Game 4 to close out this series?
Well, if we go back in the history, we play overtime every time against Utah. So everything less than overtime would be disappointing for me.
All right, congratulations, Vladdy. Let's go back to you, Bob and Reggie.
Thank you, Cheryl, and you have to be happy for Vlade Divac, and the Jazz must be stunned. Here's the play, 3.3 to go.
Good defense by the Kings, not letting them come to the ball, not giving John Stockton a good look at it. That was a Hail Mary.
Game 4, Friday night here at Arco. It'll be win or go home. The Utah Jazz down 2-1. Once again, our final score in overtime, Sacramento 84, Utah 81.